Good day, good day. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in, Jay. And this is Homeschool Yo Kids podcast. Before we get started, special shout out to a couple of our sponsors who are mission to ensure you do not homeschool alone. So special shout out to Classical Conversations, who is a nationwide curriculum provider as well as community support. And special shout out to Base Camped, which is a new app, not brand new anymore, but new app that is mission to ensure that you not only find community, your tribe, but also that you are able to locate local resources in your area. So check them both out. And today we have with us Tammy and Betsy. Ladies, introduce yourselves.
I'm Tammy, and I am co-owner, let me say that again, co-owner with a couple of Mathnasium centers with my sister Betsy.
And my name is Betsy Washburn. I as well, Tammy and I have been owners of multiple Mathnasium centers in the Phoenix area for about 8 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. And until you signed up, Tammy, for the Arizona one, I didn't know Mathnasium was a national thing because we
Oh,
had Mathnasium at our Virginia Expo. So I didn't
oh,
know
okay.
that it was like a franchise type deal.
Yeah, we're a big deal.
I see. I see.
There's 1,100 over in the United States. There's over 1,100
Oh, wow.
centers over the United States. Yeah,
Hmm.
they're all individually owned. So there's a few large owner groups that own multiple of them, but they are all many of them are mom and pop small businesses within local communities.
Oh, wow. Okay. So walk us to this path, ladies. How did we get here? How did we get to Mathnasium?
It started really with me. I was my second career in life. When in my 30s, I went back and got my teaching certificate and was teaching middle school, high school math. And then I just was not finding that it was the perfect fit for me. Um, the bureaucracy of school was very difficult for me. I wanted to teach math, and there were a lot of things that did not fit within that model for me. So I left the classroom, and then when I did, I was wonderful enough to meet a multi-center owner out of Kansas. His name was Vane Lucas, and he brought me aboard his team, and I helped open his seventh location there in Kansas. And I ran it for about a year, and I loved it. Absolutely, it was the greatest thing. I got to teach math every day. I got to make an impact on students that was relevant, that was direct, and so it was really important to me. But unfortunately, my dad became ill, and so I decided to move back to the Phoenix area. And when I did, Tammy said, "Let's bet on ourselves. Let's open our first one." So,
Mm.
long story short, we purchased our first center in October of 2018, and here we are.
Been going ever since. Had, so, Tammy, what were you doing before you decided to bet on yourself?
Well, I was working in a career that I'd been in for just about 30 years when I came into Mathnasium full time. I worked for a company that financed insurance premiums for commercial businesses. So I was the office manager here at the local branch in
Oh, right.
Phoenix. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you have, well, I mean, you working in basically accounting. Did you have any other math background before you started?
Not at all. Not at
Really?
all. Yeah. The Mathnasium method has taught me a lot.
I'm sure. Probably needs to teach me.
All right.
Math was never my forte,
All right.
ever.
Not mine either, honestly. It was not mine either. So when families come in and mom's in tears and the students in tears and they're at the end, I can empathize because I was there. I was that same
Mm.
student sitting with my dad at the kitchen table. He's frustrated, I'm frustrated, and we're in tears. And so yeah, I can see, when those students come in, my heart is really hurt for them because I've been there and I get it. So,
Yes, ma'am. I mean, Betsy, I would have needed you because when I tell you, I think I've been traumatized by math since eighth grade. I think that's when it started.
yeah,
Like I'm in a meeting right now. I believe it was eighth grade. My eighth grade algebra,
That's exactly.
pre-algebra teacher, she did
hmm
it. And then after that, it was just it was downhill after that. Oh my
Yeah, I can pinpoint mine as well. It was fourth grade. Yeah.
fourth. Oh my
Fourth
gosh.
grade. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I had a teacher that was going to be a lobbyist in DC, and that was what she was focused on. So she handed us a packet about yay thick at the beginning of the school year and said, "This is due by Christmas break, you know." And that was it.
What?
No, we didn't do
Fourth
any work in
grade?
class, nothing. We were given the packet and it was just due at the end of the semester. So,
And unfortunately, in those situations like what
yeah.
you've experienced, we notice on our side of things when we're doing assessments, we can almost, you can see it from the
Mm,
math that at that
mm,
moment, the math never progressed. And so students might pick up pieces here and there of later topics, but what they never ever fully get is wherever it stopped, wherever that block was, they never fully recover. And so then it affects everything past. No matter
Yeah.
what it is, it affects everything past. And so we've got to go back, and that's one of the things that Mathnasium does very well is we assess where they are at by skill, not just you're at fourth grade, but maybe they're at fourth grade for fractions, but really they're at third grade for multiplication, and they may not even have their addition subtraction from first and second grade. So we're able to identify back by skill level where they're at, and then we build a custom learning plan for that around them specifically and work to help them develop and make growth and make strides, and she'll find success and kind of sit a little taller and roll those shoulders back and go, I can do this. I can be a mathematician. I can find success in math, and that's our job. So
yeah, you definitely said a number because
Yeah.
that's the same thing because I used to teach English. I taught English in middle and high school,
oh yes,
and most of my babies were left back in elementary, like as far as their skill set, their reading comprehension, just their ability to write anything. You would see that they were all like, not all, but most of them were still elementary.
that's
And
exactly,
so it's like, okay, what happens? What happens there?
Yeah.
yeah. And it's unfortunate in the world that we live in that they, because of the way, federal and, guidelines that potentially are different now that things have changed, but state guidelines and what are required, it definitely makes a difference in terms of, how we progress students on. And then there are some schools now that they're just pushing them along, even though they don't technically pass. After COVID, they don't do any retention. And so they just continue to pass a student forward. They may not pass any of their skills, but they're literally going forward and going forward. And I just like, you're not setting that child up for success. I don't think retention is easy, but I'm telling you now, you're not helping them. You are not
I
helping them
know. And
because
you
it
know,
doesn't.
yeah, no, I totally agree, Betsy, because I've had conversations with parents who have asked for their children to be held back, and the school's like, no, man, we don't do that. Like, we're not going to do that. And I always share, I had a seventh grader reading on kindergarten level, like my first year in my own classroom, and they told me to pass her. Like, like she was in seventh grade. She could not read. And it
It
was
was
like,
unfortunately the same reason. I was talking about bureaucracy. It was one of the reasons I left because I remember at the end of the year, this was pre-COVID, and they were like, you have this too many that have D's and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but that's what their knowledge is. That's what they have shown mastery of. And so that's what their grade is. And they're like, well, we can't do that. And I'm like, yes, we can. That's the grade. That's the grade they've received. And they were going to go in, they wanted me to change them. And I'm not changing them. And there was a definite disagreement. They ended up my grade standing, but the relationship was not the same because I told them, I don't know how I can work for people that want to inflate grades because they are afraid of perception, because we don't need perception. We need reality of where a student's at, because we
Yeah.
can't help them if we don't know. If we don't have a
what?
truth about where they're at, we can't help them.
You better say it, honey. It was, and what were you teaching at?
Well, I taught in Southeast Missouri, so it was a rural area.
Okay.
Definitely rural area. We were definitely high poverty. I think we had 98% free and reduced lunch. It was a very high number. And then when I moved to Kansas City, my last year that I taught in the classroom, I was in Brookside Charter School, but it was an inner city school in Kansas City. And so I worked there. And again, very similar situation. So very similar situations.
Yeah, and Betsy, you know, I talk to people across the nation, as far as former educators, teachers, things of that nature, and the story doesn't differ. Like no matter the area, it really doesn't differ, and it's so sad that's where we are with things.
We're
Yeah.
just sending these students out into the world
Yep,
not prepared, not prepared at all, unfortunately.
functioning illiterate.
That's why we're struggling at these levels and these ages to help them find success, is because eh, we're not taking ownership of where they are and what we did to help them get there, or not
Mm,
help to do that to help them get there. And then we're just kind of like, we're covering it up. We're not really taking
okay.
ownership of where they're at so we can help them find success and move forward. So
Guys, did both of your kids, well, you know, as far as your kids, did they go to traditional school?
because I was a public school teacher. Both of my children went to public school. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
both of them went to public school. Honestly, I look back now and wish that I had the ability, but again, we were a dual income family. And my spouse, he traveled for a living, so school made a perfect fit for me. So I was off when they were off, and that kind of worked out for us. But I would have loved to have homeschooled them. I've
Mm,
already told both of my kids, they're all both starting their families at this point. I told them that I would absolutely homeschool my grandkids. So it's one of the things I've been working towards as we, get farther along in owning the centers, is that I'd love to be able to homeschool my grandchildren, because I want to I want to make sure they're learning. I want to know that they can write a sentence. And you can see it, even though we do math only, we do a lot of problem solving. And so they have to write a statement to defend their answer of whatever they got. And just to watch them write sentences. So even just I can see I'm not an English teacher, but I can see from the English
mm,
side. I mean, we get seventh graders that still write the letter I lowercase at the beginning of a sentence. And I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, they don't
yeah.
have my 19-year-old niece. She's heading off to college, and her senior year, she came to live with us, and I was just appalled by what they were assigning in her senior level English, as well as what she was allowed to turn in for an A grade.
Mm,
And like, I was just like,
Mm.
that doesn't reflect what your understanding is, And so I think we've gone off track. A part of it is, though, is I think we are fitting into this. We want to make parents happy as opposed to be honest with them. So where we're giving them what they want to see, not what true reality is, because they don't want to deal with the repercussions of a family that's upset. A family's going,
really, you think? Mm,
yeah. So they don't want to have that. They're afraid of the parent being upset with them. So they would just rather give lots of extra credit so they can get that grade up. They get, let them retake tests over and over until they get it right. Um, but
Turn
when
in homework weeks late that was
yeah,
due,
or not giving them a 0 when they don't turn anything at all, they kind of
mhm.
give them a 50%. There's
Yes, ma'am.
most districts have a 0, a no 0 rule. You can't give a 0. And I'm like, but if they didn't turn anything in and they're
Mm.
still making teachers give them credit.
Yes, ma'am. And I taught in Virginia, and that was there. Those zeros. And to fellow student, you basically had to give a whole dissertation as to why. But I feel like it goes more on the federal and state level as to the funding. Or like, because you know, I taught in high school, and high school they need the students to finish in those 4 years. That's how they get their money. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't. It's so interesting, but I'm glad that we're having these type of conversations. Go ahead, Tim.
Absolutely. No, and I was just going to say, and with Mathnasium, since I've been at Mathnasium, it's been so nice to see the other side. Like, so when a student comes and they're first with us, the head is down, you're asking them questions and they're barely, about their work and they're barely saying anything. But a week, maybe 2 weeks in, you're asking a question and they're sitting up and they're going, oh, I got this because I did this, this, and that means it's this. And it's amazing to see the transformation. When that aha moment comes on about a topic or something that they're learning, it's the greatest feeling. It's the greatest feeling for me. So I can't even imagine how
They
they're feeling
feel,
about it. And that
yes.
confidence, once they know, oh, I've mastered this one topic and I get this, then that just creates, it opens up and creates a space where they're okay to learn more and to grow and to just absorb it all. Anyway, that's what I
Indeed.
see. It's
No, I
amazing.
appreciate that observation because that's what it comes down to, the confidence. So y'all are building confidence. So
We
Mathnasium,
are.
tell us a little bit more. What all do you provide as far as services go? How do parents sign up for it? You can walk us through all the great things.
So we start each student with an assessment. We assess at a very granular level so that we know what they know by skill level. Where do they know with addition, subtraction, multiplication, fractions, everything. We'll even go up and past where they're working at, like by grade level, because we want to create a learning plan that is specific and custom to them. Because what you find is students aren't just working at one grade level, they're working at multiple grade levels. They've got this understanding here, that understanding at a different level. And so we create a custom learning plan and we review it with our families and we share with them that at our centers, they have 10 sessions each month that they can come in and use. They are drop-in at our center, so they get the flexibility around their busy other lives, whether they're doing extracurriculars, church, whatever they've got. We want to make sure that they have the flexibility to come in and use their sessions. Then in the session, in that 60-minute session, if they do have homework, either if they're coming from a homeschooling pod and they've got homework there, if they're coming from their school that they've got, their public school or charter school, they've got homework, we will split the session into 2 parts and support not only what they're doing in the classroom for the second 30 minutes, but then we're going back and building true mastery of those underlying skills in the first part. And one of the things that I think Mathnasium excels at is their ability to drive the student to complete understanding of why they're doing what they're doing. We use the word metacognition at our centers to use the reasoning of the student needs to know why they know what they know, not just I did this, I completed it, but we want them to be able to look back and evaluate their answer and say, does my answer make sense for what I was asked in the initial question? And how do I know that? And how can I defend that? That's where we get to those advanced higher level thinking skills when they can explain why they know what they know, which is really what our goal is that we want them to have long-term mastery and to be able to apply those skills. So we work on content, typically 2 to 3 topics per session, so that we break up that learning up over time. So it's not just coming in and working on adding integers all day for the entire hour. We split 2 to 3 topics up over 2 to 3 weeks so they have a longer term retention of that content. And then the way we assess is it's very cyclical. It will come back and grab previous skills to assess to make sure they've retained it. So even though we've moved past that skill, the assessments will pull certain grandfathered questions back from previous learning to make sure that they are retaining content over the course of time. And then we allow them to move at their pace because it's all individualized instruction. Even they're sitting in a group setting, they're not taught in a group way. They're taught on a one-on-one basis because each student learns differently. They have a different learning mode. Some may be very kinesthetic forward. Some may be very verbal. I'm a verbal learner. I want to be able to tell you verbally why I know what I know. Some need visuals, some need lots of drawings and things that they can imagine in their mind that later on they will hold that anchor and help them develop. So that individualized learning style allows us to help them individually find success in that same skill. Because I tell my instructors, I'm like, you might have 2 7th graders sitting next to each other doing the exact same homework, but they're going to learn it two different ways. And it's your job to help them make sure that they find that understanding. So the way they can enroll is we will really make it as easy as absolutely possible. They can go on any of the Mathnasiums across the country. If you go to mathnasium.com, we have a map that they just put in their zip code, and it'll pull up the Mathnasium closest to them and allow them to schedule an assessment right on the page. And I would say about 50% of the centers in the country do a free assessment. The others might charge for it, but we do a free assessment at our centers. So you don't even have to pay to see where your student's at and what we're going to be helping them with. So we do an assessment and we go over that information with the family and give them an opportunity to determine if we're a fit. And then it's based upon that. It's kind of like a membership. They get so many sessions per month. At our centers, they get 10, and you pay for 10 sessions each and every month. And then they can stop whenever they find it not necessary for their students any longer. But we have many students that use it year round and have been with us as long as we've opened the centers for 8 years.
Yes.
At some point, we actually move them past the remediation. Then they're working on grade level, and then we actually move them advanced, and they're learning new content prior to what they're learning in the classroom. So depending upon each individual student, we allow them to move at their pace, and you'll find very quickly many of them will move past where they're working, and they're actually getting introduced to the ideas prior to even seeing it in the classroom.
Nice. And what's the grade levels? You
We
do
work
all?
kindergarten through 12th grade.
Nice.
Yeah. We
Okay.
go up through the first semester of calculus. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we'll go up through the first semester of calculus. And we really, one of the things that we've kind of jumped really deep into this last year is assisting homeschool families. And because we're an accredited curriculum, we can actually provide the math curriculum solely for homeschool families. So they don't even have to have their own extra curriculum. We can come in and we can do their math. So we have students that come in every day. They come in Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday, depending on their need. And we do their math every day because we're going to cover all aspects of curriculum. And we do follow state guidelines. So we do because again, we're in Arizona. So our curriculum covers and is expansive. It's created more like at an international level. Mathnasium's curriculum is. So it is very expansive. It's going to cover things even for kids that transport from, their parents have moved into the States for a 6-month period. And that way we get that situation. And the curriculum is, it's not scheduled the same, meaning they're not doing the same curriculum the same years always. As what they might be doing in the UK or wherever they're moving from, but they are doing the same type of content. And the Mathnasium's done a great job of making sure that their curriculum is universal.
Y'all got it. Okay. Okay. And so you called your instructors are they considered is this considered tutoring or is these classes?
We are considered math tutoring.
Okay.
But we do, and we don't want it to say classes gives a lot of thought into their brain that they're taught in a regular class setting, and they are not because it's individualized instruction. But it is their math. Many of our students, we do solely, that we're the only math they do. They come in and we do 100% of their math to help them, develop and guide. I would say in terms of our homeschool family, it's like a 70-30. 70% of them where they're sole math, and then the other 30%, they do their own curriculum that they bring.
No, this is awesome. Okay, Mathnasium out here reaching and teaching. Very necessary.
I love that. It is. It is really, it's like, and that's the one thing. I mean, I'm like, Tammy and I did not get into it for anything other than to help students find success because, you're a teacher. You want to see that light bulb. You want to see them actually find a difference. I'm not worried about whether they turned in all the questions on the notebook. I want to know, do they understand how to do the concept? That's what I'm looking for. And we get to do that in a way that allows each individual student to show their idea of mastery in a way that's good for them. So I love that. So
Oh my, because when I tell you, because y'all know I homeschool. And I got a fresh sixth grader, and
Ooh.
right now we're just trying to get multiplication. Honestly, we haven't even moved on to division. I told her division will come easy once she knows and is able to, recite the multiplication quickly. But I've been playing songs. We got charts, couple workbooks, but we do a lot of things orally. But after that, I'm gonna have to send her off, guys. Like I got.
I do know that there are some in the Chicago area, but there's always online. That is
I'm
always
in
an option.
Phoenix.
Do what?
Oh,
I'm in
Oh,
Phoenix.
we thought you were in
I
Chicago.
thought you were in
Really?
Chicago.
Why?
Yeah.
Do I give Chicago? Like, how
I
do
don't
we get to
know.
Chicago?
I
Well, I'm
wonder.
glad
Nice.
you're in Arizona. What part of the
Oh,
valley are you in?
We're off 7th Avenue and Camelback.
oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
just up the 51 from you. So,
Yeah.
but we are even offer online. So that's one of the benefits also. Again, we have students that maybe social emotional issues and things of that nature, and they prefer to be in their own space. So it's just like we'd be talking. It'd just be me with the student in the center, in their location on their screen. And the topic comes up on their screen, and we can both annotate on the screen at the same time. Again, they're not in a group setting. It's a one-on-one thing that allows students to work from the comfort of their own home if that's a more preferable way for them as well. So that also is an option. So
Yes, no, and I love that y'all give the sessions for them to use according, however it fits for them, because they can have a test that they need to prepare for and come maybe 4 times that week, or they can come 2, 3, depending on their schedule. But that's awesome that y'all leave that to their discretion. Like, hey, here, this is what you
yeah.
got. Come on.
Yeah. And then we do have the for those families that are wanting to use Mathnasium as their only source, they could even do unlimited, where they can come every day. We don't use it
Mhm.
very often because, again, for school students that are going to a traditional public school or something, they don't want to come every day. So it doesn't happen as often. But some of our homeschoolers will come every day. They come Monday through Thursday. And we even opened our centers up this past year in the morning so that we were even working within the hours that a lot of homeschool families work, because they work from, up through noon. And so we want to be able to give them that flexibility of being able to have open. So we opened homeschool hours from 9 to 12, Monday through Thursday, to even open up. And again, try to meet families where they were at and how to support them with what their homeschool choices are. So the last thing we just recently added was what we call pod hours. We opened up the space that this homeschooler actually can come in from 9 to 12, and 1 hour we'll do math, but they can bring their other subjects in, and then we will help them. We won't teach it, but we will help them answer questions that they're stuck on, help them make sure that they have a safe space to kind of feel like they're working at their own pace, but in a safe environment. That way that it's just a different setups. And so we have a few families that are really enjoying that aspect. So it's been really good. My instructors have
Yes.
had to go back and get refreshed on their sixth grade science and their fifth grade English. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go back and look at my prepositional phrases again. Yeah. So
Some of them are working. So we've got several, instructors in the center. And so we go to Mr. Mike for science, and we go to Miss Mary if the students are working on their Bible class, or we all have our other little
our
niche
niche that we're better at, that we can help them with when
Mhm.
it comes to their other subjects.
yeah,
So yeah.
No, that's awesome. That is awesome. Y'all are providing a lot and teaching across curriculums. So,
Yeah.
during that time.
We want them to find success. I think homeschooling is a great option for families that have decided that the public school system is not a fit for what their values and what they'd like to move forward with. And so I love that. And I want to be able to provide an opportunity for them to utilize our space and to utilize our instructors. And so it's worked out really well. So we're very, very thankful for it over this year. So
yes, and y'all offer the flexibility that homeschoolers love. So that's what I'm really stuck on.
yeah, because that's the one. I mean, the one thing I'd love is I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to take this week and we're not going to homeschool and we're going to go on a vacation. And I don't
Mhm.
have to negotiate packets of homework coming from school. I can just pick it up when we get back and, do whatever. Or we can make a history lesson of going and seeing the Alamo as we're going through, whatever it is we want to do, we can kind of accommodate that. I love that flexibility. So
Indeed. And with homeschool, it never stops. Like the learning it never pauses. We're on pause right now because we traveled the whole summer, and I told them when we got back home that I'd give them a break because they had been doing work the whole time. And it's basic. Like we do math twice a week. They do writing and reading daily, Monday through Thursday, and Fridays their day is free for them, as long as they read. Reading is non-negotiable for me. Like everybody has to read. Everybody has to read, including
that's
me.
it. Daily.
Like, yes,
Pick a
daily.
book, find a comfort. Yeah.
Yes. But right now they're on a break, and I told them we'll start back up September 1st. Oh no. Um, when I know, like, she'll pop back. She'll pop back.
They will.
But I told them we're on a break, so our schedule's way different than others right now because in Arizona everybody's going back to school.
Everybody's back to it.
And
Yeah.
literally, probably, I think when they went back to school is when the girls started their break. And so I'm gonna let them break all the way until September 1st, and then
Oh,
we're gonna
nice.
get back on it. Cause like I said, I got that little sixth grader that I just want her to at least get the multiplication. Like at
Right.
least let me help you with that. And then
Right.
we're gonna outsource the rest. Cause honey, I want you to do better than me.
Me too. Me too. Like it's just, yeah, I don't want anybody to have to go through that, I don't
Yes.
want, or I don't want to see students struggle with that. So,
Yeah.
Mathnasium curriculum is just so phenomenal about, like even with multiplication, um, it's not just a memorization thing. They're always, uh, I call them tricks. They're strategies for the student. If you don't know what 7 times 6 is, what is 7 times 5 first?
I do that. I
Then,
do.
yeah, exactly. So if they don't have it memorized, they at least have a way to get there.
Mhm.
So it's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah,
I
I'm
will
trying
say
with the songs. I could tell you, like, I'm trying to like
Mhm.
with the multiplication songs and whatnot, because they created a jingle the girls created a jingle to memorize their address. So I'm like, okay,
Oh.
well, if jingles is what you need, let's go.
Let's do some jingles, right?
Yes, please. But math is is mandatory. Like I feel like math and reading, that's why it's like those two things, math, reading, and writing are
Yes.
things that it's like, all right, like if we don't do anything else, we don't do these. Um, History, science, all that stuff is things that we could talk about as we're moving along. Like last night we walked to the park, and on the way back, Kenny wanted to tell me fun facts about animals. And then her sister's telling me her facts about insects, and we talking about bugs and all this. Like, it's off the off the record learning, I guess. But
Right.
either way, it's like our learning doesn't stop. When I tell you my 11-year-old asks me questions all day. And they're quick to be like, can I see your phone real quick so I can look up something? Can I see your phone?
I
Huh.
love that though, that they're just wanting to learn and they're not just letting their brains, sit and but they're, constantly wanting to learn more. I love that.
Yes,
I
that is
love
the goal. I feel like that's the overall goal, and that's where I feel traditional school settings lose the kids is because they lose that love for learning. I was like, why is everyone stuck in elementary? Like, how do we lose them way back there? And then by the
Yeah.
time, like my 10th graders, they were so down, and my 12th graders, like they were definitely the definition of depressed. Like, it's like, why, how do we get here? Why is this so unfulfilling for y'all? Why is this so like sucking the life out of you? Essentially, like this is what I'm seeing. And
Yeah.
so it's a lot. Hey, Betsy, welcome back.
Yeah, sorry. Technical difficulties. But yeah, I'm with you. Where did the love for learning going on and being excited about learning those new ideas and
Yeah, because naturally our kids are naturally they want to learn as much as their parents because they like see, oh my gosh, like my oldest, like she wants to know more than me. Like even we're walking yesterday and she told her sister, she said, I don't know all of the animal facts, but I know most of them. I said, well, Kenny, please know that the most intelligent person knows that they will never know all of anything. And she was like, well, I didn't say I knew it all. I'm just saying I know most of it.
I love the confidence. I love the
What?
confidence.
Oh, it's there, honey. If nothing else, I know I got them there. But
That she's got that. That's
what? Yeah,
when
so
you
it's
learn
like
science and stuff, things that do you do that by reading?
we do that. Yeah, we have a lot of animal books, a lot of hands-on things. We go to a lot of different, because we travel so much, we go to a lot of museums, we go to children museums, we go to science stuff, all types of things. But they like to do experiments, like hands-on. And I just banned them a couple days ago. I told them that their experiments need to be outside and not in the room anymore because we're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that. Yeah.
We're not going to do that. But
That,
they definitely prefer hands-on. They have people who buy them kits, like different science kits and things. So we do a lot of hands-on with that. But we just have books like like all types of animals. My oldest loves all animals. She is been on negotiation for a pet for the longest, but I told her we're not ready. Look, we are not ready. So
that's
uh,
exactly. It's a family
We
decision for that.
are not
especially when you don't clean up after yourself, like you're not about to give me another burden. Like, no.
That's exactly you because you know at the end of the day you're going to be the one feeding them and cleaning
Exactly.
them and yeah.
Look, and she asking for a ferret. A daggone
Oh my
ferret.
gosh.
Oh
But them
no.
things aren't even still. Like they run around and what? No, we're not doing that right now. We're not doing
That's
that. I'm not there.
exactly. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm not there. I'm not there. Yeah, no. But yeah, so we do a lot of hands-on. I know they like to watch videos, animal videos. My youngest is into cooking, so she likes, and she has stated, guys, that she likes math more than reading, which hurt my little
Yes, I love
heart.
that. I love that.
However, I've accepted it and it's fine. Um, but she does a lot of cooking and measuring and things of that nature. So that's how she's getting her math right now. They have a math book that it's Astro Boy. They named him Leo. I think it's just Astro Boy, but they named him Astro Boy Leo. And they're like, oh no. When I write home, okay, y'all gotta do math. And they're like, oh, not Astro Boy Leo. um we've gotten a couple tools like hands-on multiplication tools. Like there's a set of keys that we got from I want to say who's
Are
the
they the
bit?
wraps?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
learning, yeah, learning resources. Yeah. We use the
Yeah.
wraps for fluency at our center. When we're teaching multiplication, like we'll teach them how. So like if they want to multiply 12 times 5, we're going to say, okay, well, what's half of 12? And they're going to say 6. And I'm like, okay. So 5 is half of 10. So we're going to take 6 times 10 to get 60. So 12 times 5 is 60. And so then after we've taught them said skill, then we allow them to practice. And so fluency practice is an important one. So we use the wraps as well. We use dice, we use cards, a variety of those things, but we'll use all those things to help them practice fluency. So
Have y'all used the
abacus, we have
abacus?
not used the abacus, yeah, but we
I
do.
seen a video. Mind blown. Like, how did they do this? Please, please. Um,
Yeah,
are you all familiar with Right Start Math?
I have heard of it, but I don't have tons of experience with
Okay.
it.
Well, no, I had Kathleen. She's been on the podcast. She's one of the founders of Right Start Math, and I know they use the I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
Abacus, yeah.
Yeah. But she was one that also told me like that I need to stop saying that I'm not good in math. It's that I'm not good in certain areas of math. Like, because I know my multiplication and division, so I am good at some parts. It's just geometry really scarred me. Like,
Well, and two, we're just one of the things we like to remind them is like maybe you just haven't been taught to fit within the way you learn. and that doesn't make it your area. It means something we need to go back and teach you the way in a way that you can learn. So
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
don't know it yet.
Yes, yes. And
yeah,
it's
we
like the
can teach it.
trauma that is associated, like you said, with the fourth grade, and I said the eighth grade. It's like we really get caught up in that because it hurts. Like it's like, yo, no, it didn't feel good when I got that grade,
Right.
or it didn't feel good when she talked to me this way, or made me feel like, you know, as far as the teachers go. And so it's like you really have to be delicate with people.
Mhm.
Because
You
I'm 40.
do.
I'm 40 and
Right.
I'm still talking about eighth grade and 10th grade geometry. So like you have to understand how impactful that is.
When we hire our instructors, day one, when we have our first hiring meeting, there are three major rules at Mathnasium. And the first one is always be kind,
Mm,
always. So when we're working with our students, even if we're reviewing the page, we're not going and telling them that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. What we're doing is we're looking at the student, we're going, hey, let's take another look at number 4.
mhm.
Let's work through the number 6 together. It's not a negative, it's just a, hey, let's look at this one more time. So always be kind. There's so many of our students are struggling anyway that we don't want to add to that stress or to that, you know, yucky feeling. You know what I mean? We want to build them up and help them be confident. So we're
Yeah.
very, what's the word I'm trying to think of? We're very
Aware, cognizant
aware.
of
Thank
them.
you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, because that makes a difference. It's the confidence. And it's nice that you all are doing individualized learning because in the classroom setting, it is easy to get so embarrassed or, so like, don't want to raise your hand or don't want to ask questions because you're afraid of what your peers are going to say or even how the teacher reacts sometimes. Like, oh, how don't you know this concept yet? Like, we've gone over this so many times that or classmates laughing at questions so it's nice to have this reinforcement that they can get more comfortable. I love Tammy, the story you shared early on with like they'll start with their head down and then
Yeah.
before you know it, like they like, oh, I got it. Like, and I love that. I love that because confidence is everything. Like
Yeah.
confidence is everything. And that's what I've saw so many of our students be so defeated in just everything because of this I don't know. I try not to blame, like, I mean, realistically, like, we know, but it's just like, okay, well, what can we do different? No, put them in mathnasium. Look.
There you go. That's
Put them in
exactly.
Mathnasium.
Yes.
We
Yes,
would love to help.
yes,
The big thing for me is just as you guys are talking about, that student not understanding it, what I try to explain to them is it affects everything. When you
Mhm.
don't feel you're good at one thing, it affects, well, maybe I'm not good at this. Well, maybe I'm not good at this. And we'll have some come in and they've had such a bad day. And I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, "Ugh, this teacher wasn't nice to me." And I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
let's talk about it. Well, it was science or whatever. Had nothing to do with us.
Right.
But because of that interaction, it was affecting everything else that the student was doing. And we have to just remember it. We're teaching the whole child. We're teaching that person, and they're all different. And when they change, we're forever changing their makeup when we teach them that they can't do something. Well, they can.
Yeah,
And it's our job to kind of switch that and teach them, yes, you can. Can I show you how?
yeah,
We even go as far as like we don't have red pens in our center because there's a red no a negative connotation that goes with red. So we don't mark X's like things are not marked wrong. We just circle them and say, hey, let's give that one more
yes,
try, and we do it with a pencil. We like those things that like little small nuances they matter, and so we want to make sure that that's kindness,
yes,
that how we teach is with leading with kindness because it matters. You
it
gotta to
does.
overcome what maybe they've already dealt with for all those years prior to getting to you. Like you said, we get. I was just talking to an instructor the other day, or another owner, and they've got a ninth grader that's still addition and subtraction. They cannot add 7 and 8 without their fingers. And it's affecting everything else that she's doing, adding rational expressions and all the things. And so it's like
Ninth
that's
grade. That's
that's humiliating for
crazy.
her. She is mortified that she's doing addition and subtraction. You have to tread very lightly. You have to tread very lightly because you still got to teach it, but you got to do it with such a gentle spirit of, hey, let me show you how quickly we can get this. You've got this. Let me show you this. Let me show you some tricks that are going to make this and this that you're doing right now so much easier. Let me show you that. It's just got to be gentle with people's spirits because math is a very sore subject for many people. And like to think that at our centers, we are helping people overcome that. So they leave thinking differently about that.
Indeed, indeed. Because it's all mental. Like everything starts in the mental. Like we have to understand how important it is to build up our young people. Um, because everything starts there. Like my girls, I always like there's no limits to anything you can do. And they watch me do everything. So they're always like, oh, I can do this or I could do that. Like good. Like, even some things be so far-fetched, like so like okay, like I'm just like okay, like I never
Let's
told
give it a
them no,
go,
no,
right?
right? Yes, like write the plan
You want
out.
to be
Like,
an archaeologist in Egypt and dig up bones? Absolutely. Yeah.
yes, please. Book me a flight when you get there, okay?
Well, I 100% commend you because I think it's the right thing. I mean, my youngest was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when she was 9 years old. And I can remember having that conversation with her. Is like, that doesn't have to define you. It's not your definition. It's something you live with. It's not a definition of you, and you can do whatever you want to do. Okay. So she played softball all through high school. She played college softball. And she's now graduating this week with her doctorate in veterinary medicine.
Ooh,
And I'm going to have a
okay.
doctor of veterinary medicine. Exactly, right? But
Yes.
because you tell them you can do this,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
do not let those things that have affected us, they don't get to define us. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have
Yeah.
autism, okay, great. Let me show you how you can find success.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Let's work through
everybody's
it.
success looks different. Now that's key. They don't all, it's not equal. Your success, my success, it's not the same. But our job is to help
Subjective.
them find
Very
success.
subjective.
For them.
Most of the words that people feel are so concrete are so subjective because what your happiness is not my happiness necessarily. What's your definition of success or even failure? Like all those things are subjective. It's all about your perspective and how you approach it. And I love that. Yes. Yes, Betsy.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, you got, I mean, you've got to teach them at a young age. It's like you can
Yes,
do what
ma'am.
you want to do. Just
Yes,
like you were
ma'am.
telling your girls, we can do that and let us help you. That's kind of our, like, how can Mathnasium help you get to that goal? It's one of the new things we've been working on is helping them set goals. And these are the goals that you want. Now, how can we help you get there? Okay.
Yes.
You want to be top in your class? Let's do it. What do you want to do? How can we help you? You want
Yes.
to get through 8th grade pre-algebra with a passing grade so that you can take, whatever. Let's help you meet your goal. And in some areas, many areas, succeed that goal. But yeah, so.
Yes, no, and I feel like that's so important as far as the goal setting because we could dream and I just had this conversation yesterday. We could dream and we could set as many goals as we want to, but unless we actually work out the plan to reach and accomplish those goals, then it's just it's just a hope and a prayer at that point. But if you because I've even told my girls now, and with them only being 8 and 11, they'll tell me things and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to figure out how to do that. You got to tell me the plan for that. Like, cause, the 8-year-old wants to do cooking demonstrations next year at the expo. And I said, okay, well, you got to tell me the logistics. Like, how are we going to do this? What you're going to cook? How are you going to do it? What time frame? Like, I'm not figuring that out. But I don't care if you're 8. You can figure that
It's
out.
exactly, you can figure it out. What do you need? What tools do you need?
Yep.
How can I help you
Yes.
find success? I'll be
Yes.
your soundboard. You can bounce ideas off of me, but
Or your
That's
hype man.
critical
Your
thinking
hype
skills.
man.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, right. Exactly. I will be your hype man and your food tester. I will definitely test it for you. But you have to tell me how this is going to work.
Yeah.
And I think that's really big in all that we do. It's like kids have to know that there needs to be a step one, step two, step three in accomplishing what it is that they're trying to accomplish, so that they're actually working towards it and not just hoping that it comes to them. So thank you, ladies, for what you're doing.
That's
I really
excellent.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I got two more questions for y'all before I let you go.
Okay.
One, with all that you're doing and building and creating with Mathnasium, how do you make sure that you all stay replenished and do your self-care? How do you take care of self?
I'm going to let Tammy answer that one. I'm not good at it. Let's be honest. I'm just not, it's not my
We're
skill set.
Really?
constantly working at it, constantly working at a good balance, right? I mean, when you own a business, our dad told us when we opened up the business, you know this is 24/7, right? 24/7. And it is the truth. It is the truth. We're getting texts from parents at 10, 11 o'clock at night, what we don't get done in the center, we're working on in the morning or at night, or, we just, yeah, anyway, it's, Betsy and I
Mine is
both.
walking.
There
I will
you
tell you,
go.
mine is walking. That's my
Okay.
thing. I walk at night. That kind of helps me clear my head. So walking is one of them. The other thing I'm working on this year is really trying to create some space. I'm going to start working remotely so many weeks out of the year because my kids are going to be in Missouri. And so I want to be able to spend more time with them. So that's the other thing I've been doing is trying to set my systems up in place. Because for me, I love to read. I love to read. I love to walk. I love to spend time with my kids. So those are my safe
Nice.
places. That's my jam. So I'm constantly working towards how I can create space for that. So thank you for
Good.
asking.
Of
Betsy and I both
course.
share, we're brought up in a Christian home, and so we have our faith as well, and that helps. Prayer time, time to serve in our church community, things like that to help balance things too, I would say.
Got a little pesky mosquito over here trying to get me. Why? But no, I always want to remind our resource providers, because y'all are our resource, that you have to remember you. Like you have to remember you and all that you're doing. You got to remember you, because if not, then who's gonna do it when you fall out and
Right.
when your body
That's
say no,
exactly,
I'm
yeah.
done, I'm done. So I always just want to remind y'all that self-care is priority, not option. So if you are not gung-ho on it or you're not really diligent about it, get diligent about it.
Yes.
I will. I'm going to take that reminder. It was
Please.
actually on if you look at my mirror over there, I've got a mirror and it's in my goals to be much more cognizant of that this year. So I've been, since the beginning of January, I'm by no means perfect, but I've been trying to be much more aware of putting my health needs first and things that help me
Good,
feel better. So,
good.
because I want to do this for a long time. I love it. I love my job. I love getting to work with students. Owning a business is fun, but I much prefer sitting and teaching math. So that's my favorite. So I want to be able to do that for a long time. So,
All right.
so thank you for asking that.
Of course. Thank you, ladies. And if listeners didn't hear anything else, what's 3 things you want them to walk away with from this conversation? 3 things from both of you, like 3 and 3. So 3 things you want them to take away. If you didn't hear anything else in this lovely hour that we've been talking, take this.
That there are places out there that students can go to get success and find success. And Mathnasium is that for those of us doing math. We can help them find success, and that students can learn. We just have to help them find it their way, and everybody's different. And that at Mathnasium, we're gonna love them, and we're gonna support them as if they're our own. We are definitely caring about the whole child, and that matters to us. And so we want them to find success through kindness and through support and through care. And the last thing is that it's important for kids to know that they can. So remember how we speak words into students and the words that we speak into them about what they're not finding success in, that that what you say and how we say it and how they speak to themselves matters. How we speak to themselves about what they can and cannot do. You can do it. We just need to find you the right resources to help you get to that and reach that goal. So that's what I would say.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Tammy?
Kind of on the same lines that Mathnasium, I wish there was a Mathnasium when I was growing up. I really do. I think it would have changed some trajectory in my world, and open up new opportunities that I never thought that I could achieve just because I had troubles in math. So we can help. We can build that confidence, not just in math, but all across the board. And like Betsy said, we do have the student is of utmost important to us. Their well-being, their success, their confidence, and we want to help, and we can help.
Thank you. I too wish, Tammy, that Mathnasium was available for me also. Maybe it wouldn't have taken me 2 years to get out of geometry. I don't know. You know, you never know. But I appreciate what you ladies have begun here in Arizona, and I love that it's a virtual option. So parents, as I always say, remember that this is not a journey you have to do alone in no way, shape, or form. There are resources available to you, so tap into them by all means. I know my limits with math. I talked to you listen to in previous episodes, I talk about all the time. I know that I can only take them but so far, okay? And then I'm gonna pass it off. So
Well, you call us when you're ready to pass
yes,
it off.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's
We
coming
got you.
real
It's
soon. Real
coming. You
soon.
just
Like I'm trying
just
to
give
get
me a call.
multiplication. I want to feel accomplished in something. Like if I can get her on the ball, like something. Like I got you there. But yeah, no, definitely would be passing off. But parents definitely check out Mathnasium. Like they said, you said how many in the nation?
Probably over
1,200?
1,100. Yeah, over
1,100?
1,100 that are
They're
in the nation.
everywhere.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. So
And in
definitely
the
tap into
valley, those of you listening in Arizona, there's 22 in the valley that are in the valley to do. So Tammy and I own two. We own the Desert Ridge location and the Cave Creek location. But there are 22
Nice.
in the valley. So reach out. There's
Nice.
someone that can support.
Indeed. Please reach out. But whatever you do, whatever, homeschool your kids.